piano. Un magnífico piano llegado de Londres. Oh, la señorita Bates y su sobrina están asombradísimas del envío. Nadie sabe quién ni por qué.
Sí, es muy extraño.
Qué ilusión para Jane. Un regalo así de un misterioso desconocido.
En todo caso, me parece un regalo de plena justicia. La señorita Fairfax es sin duda quien mejor lo toca de todo Highbury. Y no era justo que careciese de él.
Estoy seguro de que tiene una gran sensibilidad para la música, pero no olvida usted a la señorita Woodhouse. Estoy convencido de que ella...
Gracias por su defensa, señor Weston. Pero nunca competiría en eso con Jane Fairfax.
Nadie sabe quién ni por qué. La misma Jane recibió ayer carta del coronel Campbell, su protector, y no le mencionaba para nada el piano.
A mí, la verdad, me ha alegrado mucho. Me dolía ver tanto piano polvoriento, sin nadie que lo tocase, mientras la señorita Fairfax carecía de él.
¿Por qué se ríe?
Me agrada el entusiasmo del señor Knightley. ¿Y usted? ¿Por qué sonríe?
Creo que la señorita Bates tendrá problemas para colocar su piano en el pequeño salón.
Confieso que iré en cuanto pueda. Estoy deseosa por conocer los detalles en cuanto se sepan, ¿eh?
No creo que provenga de los Campbell. Más bien de algún oculto admirador.
¿Visitó usted ayer a la señorita Bates?
Ana, tu pregunta parece un
Perdón,
poco...
no. Solo lo decía por si había visto el piano. No me había ocurrido otra cosa.
Pues no lo vi, no. No pasé de la entrada. Mis asuntos con la señorita Bates se resolvieron antes de lo previsto.
Bueno, creo que estamos agotando la noticia del piano y quien mejor nos pueda hablar de ella, su propietaria, no ha llegado todavía. Creo que somos injustos con los Elton. Están por llegar al pueblo y no conocemos a la señora Elton.
Entonces...
¡Oh! Aquí vienen la señorita Bates y su sobrina.
Hola, pasa. ¿Se han enterado? Se trata del más extraordinario obsequio recibido. Hoy, señora Weston. Señor Weston. Hoy, señorita Woodhouse. Estaba segura de que vendría. Hola. Jen, es la señorita Smith. Una encantadora criatura. Supongo que el señor Woodhouse se encuentra bien. ¿Sí?
¿Han hecho buen viaje?
Sí, muy bueno. Ha sido muy descansado gracias a la amabilidad del señor Knightley. Señor Knightley, voy a sentarme. No es que esté cansada, pero los pies... Oh, es que ¿cómo se agotan? ¿Verdad? Los viajes se ponen todo.
Es asombroso. Habla exactamente igual que el día de mi llegada. Supongo que no ha parado. El día de mi llegada. El tiempo pasa volando en Randalls. Mañana hará ya una semana que estoy aquí.
Tal vez ahora lamente haber gastado uno de esos días en ir solo a Londres a cortarse el pelo.
No, fue un viaje muy necesario. La verdad es que no siento placer en ver a mis amigos, a menos que yo crea que ellos sienten el mismo gusto en verme adecuadamente.
Discúlpeme. ¿Le ocurre algo?
No, quería tranquilizarla.
¿Sobre qué?
Sobre mi visita a los Martin. Vi a Robert Martin sin ninguna emoción.
¿Ocurre algo?
No. Gracias por despertarme. Temo haber estado incorrecto, pero no podía apartar mi mirada del extraño peinado de la señorita Fairfax. ¿No lo encuentra anticuado?
No, especialmente.
Pues yo siento una gran curiosidad. Debo preguntarle si se trata de una moda irlandesa. ¿Cree que excusará mi atrevimiento?
Estoy segura de que sí.
Gracias. Perdón.
Perdone. Ese es el inconveniente y el encanto de las reuniones numerosas. Ay, tenía tantos deseos de hablar con usted. ¿Conoce cómo ha llegado hasta aquí la señorita Bates y su sobrina?
Invitadas por usted, supongo.
Desde luego, pero me refiero a con qué medio de transporte.
¿Paseando, tal vez?
En el carruaje del señor Knightley. Él ha preferido venir cabalgando con tal de dejar su coche a la señorita Fairfax.
¿A la señorita Bates?
Oh, Emma, no sea ingenua. En general, esos sacrificios se hacen por las jóvenes.
No conozco otro caballero más considerado que el señor Knightley. Es humano,
¿No?
servicial.
Sí, estoy segura de ello.
Sabía que había venido a caballo, precisamente hablábamos de ello, pero no me dijo nada dónde inferir.
Oh, se me ocurrió una idea. Mientras la señorita Bates elogiaba el servicio del señor Knightley, a mí me vino a la mente la historia del piano.
¿Piensa que...?
Cuanto más pienso en ello, más probable me parece. Ay, qué hermosa sería una unión entre el señor Knightley y la señorita Fairfax.
¿El señor Knightley y la señorita Fairfax? Pero, ¿cómo puede pensar tal cosa? El señor Knightley no tiene por qué casarse.
¿Por qué?
No lo sé. Realmente no lo sé. Pero siempre supe que no se casaría. Siempre he pensado que Damwell Abbey sería para nuestro sobrino Henry. No me gusta la idea. Me parece un disparate.
Oh, mi querida Emma, yo no tengo la idea ni tengo la intención de ver al pequeño Henry, al hijo de nuestra querida Isabela, sin las propiedades de su tío.
No puedo soportar la sugerencia de...
¿Qué sugerencia? ¿La de ver al señor Knightley casado?
No. La de ver suplantado a mi sobrino Henry. Y por Jane Fairfax, menos que por ninguna otra persona.
Bueno, ella parece agradarle. Siempre le he oído comentarios casi apasionados de ella.
Ese matrimonio sería una imprudencia.
Querida Emma, yo no estoy hablando de su prudencia, sino de su probabilidad.
Jane, señora de Damwell, sería una locura.
¿Por qué locura? Oh, salvo la diferencia de fortunas y tal vez un poco la disparidad de edades.
Pero no lo entiende. El señor Knightley no desea casarse. No tiene la idea de casarse. Él es tan feliz como el que más con sus caballos, su biblioteca, nuestros sobrinos comunes. Él no ha pensado en Jane, estoy segura. No. Pienso que haría cualquier cosa por ella o por su familia porque es humanitario, pero no lo...
Humanitario sería, pues, para ella encontrar un marido y un hogar respetable.
Sería un gran bien para Jane, pero un gran mal para el señor Knightley. Soportar toda la vida a la señorita Bates, sus charlas.
Oh, querida Emma, al señor Knightley no le importan los pequeños enojos, no. Cuando quiere, levanta la voz, como lo hace en ciertas discusiones. Pero en cambio, podría saciar la gran admiración que siente hacia Jane. Le he oído decir que oiría tocar el piano y cantar a Jane, desde luego, eternamente.
Eternamente.
May I sit here with you a moment?
Oh, of course, Mrs. Weston.
Emma, dear, I have been longing to talk to you. I must confess I've been having thoughts and making plans in my mind quite worthy of yourself. Do you know how Miss Bates and her niece came here tonight?
Yes, Mr. Knightley brought them in his carriage.
And does that not strike you as significant?
Not in the least. Why should it?
But Mr. Knightley, who always walks everywhere, never orders out his carriage upon such an occasion. And Miss Fairfax, so well known to be susceptible to the cold. Can you not see more to it than that? Oh, Emma, you are generally so sharp in perceiving such things.
Mr. Knightley and Jane Fairfax. Oh, no, it cannot be.
But why not?
No, you are mistaken, I am sure. Mr. Knightley would do her any good deed he could because he is that kind of man, but not... Oh, no.
Perhaps the greatest good he could do her would be to marry her and give her such a fine, respectable home.
Oh, it would be excellent for her, I am sure, but it would be a disastrous connection for him, poor man. Can you not imagine having Miss Bates haunting Donwell every day, perpetually thanking him for his generosity in marrying her darling Jane? Oh, so very kind and obliging of dear Mr.
Emma,
Knightley.
you cruel girl. I should not
Oh, no. Mr. Knightley has no need to marry. He has all the friends a man could wish for and all the companionship. Besides, it would not be fair.
Not fair? To whom?
to little Henry, his nephew. He is to inherit Donwell. It is all perfectly understood. Oh, no, it is quite unthinkable. And Jane Fairfax, of all women.
Oh, Emma, really?
Now, Miss Fairfax, we have all heard such great things of your playing and singing. May I ask that you will entertain us?
Please, Mrs. Cole, if I might be forgiven this evening, I have a slight cold.
But, Miss Fairfax, that is the chief reason for our all meeting together like this.
I'm extremely sorry, Mrs. Cole.
I think she wants but a little persuasion, Mrs. Cole. Come, Miss Fairfax, you cannot disappoint us all like this.
Oh, Miss Fairfax, please.
Yes, there you are. You see, you cannot refuse.
Very well. I must.
Allow me to turn over for you.
Poor girl, she should not be forced in this manner.
Ah, here is that charming song that used to delight the company so much at Weymouth. How about that, eh?
As you wish.
Now, everybody, will you please be quiet? Miss Fairfax is to sing to us.
Very good, especially now that she can practice. You see,
Miss
because before
Bates.
she's never been.
Oft in the stilly night, a slumber's chain has bound me. Fond memory brings the light of other days around me. The smiles, the tears of boyhood years, the words of love then spoken. The eyes that shone now dimmed and gone, the tearful. I'm so sorry. I have a hoarseness in my throat.
Oh, come, try it again. It's quite simple.
No, please, I can't.
Well, let me sing it with you.
Please forgive me, please.
But, Miss Fairfax,
That
it's
will
quite...
do, Mr. Churchill. Let the poor girl stop if she wants to.
Well, now, well, perhaps the young people would care for a little dancing. Yes, now, would you mind moving the furniture? Oh, Mrs. Weston, I wonder if you'd be so kind as to play for us.
Yes, of
course,
thank you so much.
Now, will somebody please take the floor? Who will give us a lead?
Miss Woodhouse?
No, thank you. Please forgive me.
Oh, Miss Woodhouse, are you not dancing?
Miss Woodhouse, this is a pleasure that I have long promised myself. May I?
Most certainly you may, Mr. Churchill. Thank you.
Isn't it handsome?
Thank you. But from today, there's a much prettier one in town. It has been sent to Jane Fairfax.
Really? And who sent it to her?
Well, that's the exciting part. There was no identification of the donor.
Must be from Colonel Campbell.
Jane's parents died. And the Bateses, of course, are quite without the resources to, you know. And Colonel Campbell was a great friend of her father's, so he and his family have raised her.
Oh, well, then they must have sent it.
Jane has just had a letter from them, and not a word was said of it.
Perhaps it's a surprise.
We expect Miss Fairfax soon. Perhaps she may know more.
Why do you smile?
I'm smiling because I wonder if there's anyone else whom we should suspect of being Miss Fairfax's musical patron. Do you know her?
Oh, yes, she's very elegant. Yes, I know.
Colonel Campbell's daughter, Mrs. Dixon, is Miss Fairfax's dearest friend, so perhaps Mrs. Dixon sent the piano.
Mrs. Dixon, that makes sense.
As much sense do you think as Mr. Dixon? I cannot help suspecting that after his proposal to Miss Campbell, a sweet but rather a plain girl, Mr. Dixon fell in love with Miss Fairfax, who is, after all...
Very elegant, yes, but what makes you say that?
Well, she must think so, too. That is why she did not go on the holiday with the Campbells. Instead, she came here. Do you see? Now that Mr. Dixon is married into the Campbells, he would have been there. I think that in coming here, Miss Fairfax was telling Mr. Dixon that she wanted to forget him. And I think with the pianoforte, Mr. Dixon wasn't allowing her to. course, it's just a theory, but let us see how she reacts at some time if we say the name Mr. Dixon.
My dear, do you know how Miss Bates and Jane Fairfax came here tonight?
Mr. Knightley sent his carriage.
Oh, yes, he's very kind.
You give him credit for more disinterested benevolence than I. A suspicion has darted into my head, which I simply cannot get rid of. Mr. Knightley and Jane Fairfax are a couple.
Mrs. Weston, do not take to matchmaking. You do it ill. Jane Fairfax and Mr. Knightley? Every feeling revolts. Apart from every other person.
What if the pianoforte is from Mr. Knightley?
You have taken up an idea and run wild with it. He is not even with her. She is with Frank, poor man.
Perhaps the two of them stay apart publicly to keep it a secret.
Hush, friend. Here comes Mr. Cole.
Miss Woodhouse, would you do us the honour of trying our pianoforte?
Oh, I fear I lack the talent.
Oh, perhaps I should ask Miss Fairfax.
Did you not hear my lady go down the garden singing? Blackbird and thrush were silent to hear the alleys ringing. Oh, saw you not my lady out in the garden there, shaming the rose and lily, for she is twice as fair.
Though I am nothing to her, though she must rarely look at me, and though I could never woo her, I love her till I die. Surely you heard my lady go down the garden singing, silencing all the songbirds and setting the alleys ringing. But surely you see my lady out in the garden there, rivaling the glittering sunshine with the glory of golden hair.
Excuse me. Do you know that piece from the Beggar's Opera?
Oh, yes.
Virgins are like the fair flower in its lustre, which in the garden enamels the ground.
Near it the bees in play flutter and cluster, and gaudy butterflies frolic around.
But when once
Doesn't she play marvellously?
Yes. How sweet to have lent your carriage to her so that her fingers would be warm enough for the performance.
Your playing was lovely.
Much inferior to Miss Fairfax's.
No, it's very elegant.
Rod stinks and dies.
Was not that sweet of the Campbells to give her so generous a gift?
Don't approve of surprises. Pleasure is never enhanced, and the inconvenience is considerable. Bad judgment on the Campbell's part.
Miss Fairfax, shall we sing another?
That fellow thinks of nothing but showing off. Jane will sing herself hoarse. Miss Bates,
Yes, Mr.
you must
must put a stop to this. She'll make herself ill.
Oh, do you think so? Oh, well, I shall. Jane. Yes, ma'am? Dear, I wonder if I might say your tea. Your voice is so...
As you should do, using your carriage for once, like a gentleman, instead of walking everywhere.
Lucky we should arrive at the same moment, then. Or you wouldn't have noticed that I'm more of a gentleman than usual this evening.
Yes, I should. I'm sure I should.
Sensible girl.
Oh, it was the greatest surprise, and really quite the finest you could wish for. Not a grand, but a large-sized square one, a very elegant-looking instrument, and it arrived just yesterday without any direction. Jane herself was quite at a loss who it could be from.
What a mystery.
Ah, but now we conclude it could only be from one quarter, do we not, Jane? For who else could it be from but Colonel Campbell? I declare, I don't know when I heard
What are they talking about?
more satisfaction.
It seems that some mysterious person has made Miss Fairfax the present of a pianoforte.
Now she has the new one, there will be no stopping.
Why do you smile?
Nay, why do you? I smile because you smile. Why, do you suspect something? Colonel Campbell is not the giver. Who can be?
What do you say to Mr. Dixon? I cannot help suspecting that he may have had the misfortune to fall in love with her.
You're sure it couldn't have come from the Colonel?
If it was the Colonel, she would have guessed at once and not been puzzled. I have no doubt at all it was an offering of love.
An offering of love?
But only in the school.
You have convinced me.
Never dare to play.
I believe it was.
It was early in the month of May. Down by the green fields I chanced to stray. I
Heard a young maiden sigh and say that the man she loved had strayed away.
Oh, Father, Father, build me a boat.
For it's over to Ireland I'm yearning to float.
To search for my true love through tempest and storm.
For I know in her arms I'm safe from all harm.
Oh, no, I thank you, but you've had quite enough from me.
Miss Fairfax, would you give us the great pleasure of hearing you?
Yes, if you wish, Mr. Knightley.
Ah, Miss Smith. Keeping well, I trust. No more threats.
No, I'm very well now, thank you, Mr. Perry.
I shall have been here a week tomorrow, half my time. I never knew days fly so fast.
Perhaps you now regret spending one of them in having your hair cut.
No, that is no subject of regret.
What's the matter?
Oh, I was struck by... Really, Miss Fairfax has done her hair in so very odd a way. I never saw anything so outre. I must go and ask her whether it's an Irish fashion. Shall I?
No, you shouldn't.
Yes, I will. You shall see how she takes it. See whether she blushes.
Do excuse me, Miss Bates. I have been making discoveries, Emma. Did you know that Miss Bates and Miss Fairfax came here in Mr. Knightley's own carriage and are to go home again the same way? Well, is that not a very marked attention from Mr. Knightley, who never uses his carriage for himself?
Yes, it is, but it is just the sort of kindness I would expect from him. He's not a gallant man, but he's a very humane one.
When all my charms
and I would love you all the day.
What do you say to Mr. Knightley and Miss Fairfax?
No. Cut my little nephew Henry out of inheriting Donwell? Never. Besides, he does not care about Jane Fairfax.
Yes, that would be delightful.
In the way of love, I'm sure he does not.
He is a great admirer of her talents. What if he should have sent for this pianoforte?
One tiny one, I insist. I absolutely insist.
My dear sir, I must intervene. If Miss Fairfax says she is tired, then we should have the courtesy to believe her. Would you have her sing herself hoarse? Come, Miss Fairfax, you have earned a rest.
Thank you.
Miss Woodhouse. I have come here determined to dance, and nothing will satisfy me but that you and I shall show the way. Will you?
With pleasure.
But what about little Henry?
Oh, well, tell me where is your Highland laddie gone? Oh, well, tell me where is your Highland laddie gone? He's gone with streams of banners where noble deeds are done, and my sad heart will tremble till he comes safely home.
Oh, where, tell me where did your Highland laddie stay? Oh, where, tell me where did your Highland laddie stay? He dwelt beneath the holly bush, beside the rushing spray, where your blessing followed him the night he went away. He dwelt beneath the holly bush, beside the rushing spray, and may your blessing followed him the night he went away.
Miss Fairfax, would you honour us with a brief tune? Please, I insist. Please.
She is so very much a better player than I am.
Tell me, my dear, can you guess how Miss Bates and Jane Fairfax arrived here today?
Well, they walked, surely.
And so I thought. It struck me that Jane is not well and would appreciate a ride home, so I offered her our carriage. She thanked me, but said that Mr. Knightley had sent his carriage to fetch them and would take them home. I think he only brought his carriage for that purpose alone.
That is just what he would do. And he never said a word to me.
Ladies and gentlemen, I've persuaded Miss Fairfax to perform 3 lovely ballads for us.
Mr. Churchill, please. One.
Surely she can't play all those. You will tire her out with all this playing.
Oh, well, I assure you, Miss Fairfax is...
Indeed, I have been thinking that our Mr. Knightley
I'm sure I can play.
might just have turned his mind to matrimony at last.
played for over an hour. I have no doubt she's equal to the she has the strength.
Oh, no. You are mistaken. Mr. Knightley will never marry. You could not be more wrong. Donwell will go to my little nephew Henry.
I think I have one here.
Imagine Miss Bates at Donwell.
Already 1,000 thanks.
Haunting the place and thanking him every day for his kindness in marrying Jane. He could not bear it. Don't be unkind, Emma. Miss Cole also sees a marked interest. She and I think we have solved the mystery of the pianoforte. Knightley has often said that Jane deserves a better instrument.
Excellent. Yes.
Now you talk complete nonsense. He would never do anything in secret. Well, he has always spoken very well of her. And he is so very anxious for her health.
A gentleman would never risk a lady's reputation. Unless, of course, he was most ardently in love.
So, Emma Woodhouse deigned to accept an invitation from the merchant Mr. Cole.
Mr. Churchill will soon return to Yorkshire. We must make the most of every opportunity until he does.
We must.
He's in Highbury only 2 weeks.
And yet he spent a whole day going to London just to get his hair cut. 16 miles, twice over. He's a trifling, silly fop.
Mr. Cole. Such grand estates you have in common, gentlemen. Donwell Abbey, Enscombe, soon to inherit, of course. Soon to inherit Enscombe. Not too soon. I trust your uncle, Churchill, is in good health?
Excellent health.
Sono qui, felici, tutti sono belli, oh sì, tutto è delizioso, tutti sono qui.
And have you heard the choicest piece of gossip that has set all the tongues of the village aflame? A pianoforte, very elegant, delivered to Miss Fairfax this very morning with no return address.
I never saw so fine an instrument.
A pianoforte, very elegant, and with no return address.
No return address.
Jane herself is quite at a loss, quite bewildered to think who could have sent it.
Bewildered indeed.
Why do you smile?
Nay, why do you?
I suppose I smile for pleasure. Pianoforte is a very handsome present. I rather wonder it was never made before.
Perhaps Miss Fairfax has never been staying here so long before.
Or that Colonel Campbell did not give her use of his own instrument, which must now be shut up in London untouched by anybody.
She has done her hair in so odd a way I never saw anything like it. Must be a fancy of her own. I see nobody else looking like her. Colonel Campbell is not the giver. Who can be? Mrs. Dixon? As a token of her friendship, perhaps?
What say you to Mr. Dixon?
Mr. Dixon?
He saved her life. Did you hear of it? A water party, and by some accident she was falling overboard. He caught her.
Ah.
Ladies and gentlemen, a duet.
What do you say to this, Emma? I have made a match between Mr. Knightley and Jane Fairfax.
Mr. Knightley and Jane Fairfax?
This pianoforte has been sent to her by somebody. She has always been a favourite with him. Tonight, he sent his carriage for her as a courtesy and walked himself. Was that not gallant? Mr. Weston.
Doth ask a drink.